Namaskar. Before we begin our yogic practices, there are some rules and regulations that has to be followed while performing or while we engage in these yogic practices. First thing is that all yogic practices must be done only in empty stomach, except there are very few exceptions. Second thing is these practices must be done after evacuating our bowels, after having done our bowel movements, or after passing the stool. If you are constipated, you can use some good herbs like haritaki, trifla, and also making some lifestyle changes like having more fiber diet and having correct amount of water intake to sort out constipation and then begin our practice. Third thing is about having bath. Once having done the yogic practices, till 1 hour we should not take bath, because yogic practices not only works in our body, it works beyond our body. It works in our Shukshma Sharir also. Okay. For yogic practices, it is best that it is done after having a cold shower. We can do asanas, we can do yogic practices even not having bath. But once we do yogic practices after having cold shower, it is more beneficial. Fourth rule is on breath. The breath should always be through the nose and come out through the nose, unless there are very few exceptions which we will say. Most of the practices we should not engage our mouth for breathing. We should engage our nose only. Breath must be synchronized with the movements. Like when we raise our hands, breath goes inside. Like when we bring down our hands, breath goes outside. The movements of our body should synchronize to our breath, inhalation and exhalation. Do not strain the breath, do not hold the breath for longer time unless the body is not capable. Then the fifth thing is on counterpose. Counterpose is that while performing asanas have counterpose. Like if we do on the right side, we should do on the left side. If we do forward bending asana, we should do backward bending asana. Those things will be mentioned once we do this asanas, once we go into this practical lessons. Sixth thing is on how the room should be. For a yoga performer, room should be well ventilated. Room should be comfortable, not too much bright, not too dull. And there should not be air conditioned, and there should not be any disturbances, any sharp objects near our yoga mat, near our training part of the area. And the seventh thing is which time is the best. These practices can be done any time when our stomach is empty, when in the empty stomach. So if we have eaten a cooked meal, leave at least 4 hours gap and then we can do asanas, then we can do our yogic practice. At that time also, if you feel the digestion is bit slow or if you feel indigested, then do not do this asana. Instead, you can perform Vajrasana. Best is called Andi and Sandhi, which is early morning and early evening time. During sunrise and sunset, it is the best time to do yoga and get the most benefit out of it. In that also, morning 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. is the best. It is called Brahma Muhurta. That time can be utilized. So the next thing is dress code. Dress should be fully made of cotton. Dress should be comfortable and should be loose. The ninth thing is we should always do our yogic practices in mat, yoga mat only. That yoga mat should not be spongy, should not be very cushiony. It should be little hard. If you are doing in bed or an uneven surface, then chances are there the pain will aggravate. Always we should not sleep in a cushiony surface. That is not good for our back. While performing yogasana, the surface should be flat and strong. The 10th thing is, in each practice, whenever we want to take rest, whenever the body needs some rest, we should take rest. In between our practice, we can relax and feel what is happening inside our body. And then after finishing our yogic practice, do rest in Savasana or any relaxing pose. This is compulsory. While we rest in Savasana or any relaxing pose, that is the time when we get the benefit out of it. And our body corrects itself and our body comes to normal when we do this Savasana or Sandhyasana. Now after these rules and regulations, we will go to the practice. Be thorough with the rules and regulations. Let's see in the next lessons.